Hey, I want to welcome you to today's video. We have a very important one that I know you need and I need, and that is asking forgiveness in the family. So let's go straight to the video right now. In Matthew chapter 18, Jesus gave an illustration. It was an incredible illustration. He called a little child, told him to come to him, and he sat him down with him, and he began to illustrate through this little child a great truth about the kingdom of God and how we are to live as Christians on this earth. And he talked about forgiveness. And he said, we need to, the kingdom of God is made up of people like this little children. In other words, the smallest, the least, humility. Humility was the key thing that he was teaching there. But then he says, anyone who causes one of these little ones to stumble is in great danger. And he said, it's a terrible thing. And you know what I've discovered? I've discovered that what happens to many people is that there's hurts inflicted upon them in childhood. And because of their hurts, they stumble, they struggle as they get older. And so what needs to happen is we need to learn how to ask forgiveness within the family. And the key to that, by the way, is humility. And that's why Jesus began this whole illustration with bringing a little child and said, you've got to become like a little child in the kingdom of God. And so you need to be able to humble yourself and ask forgiveness of someone else. Now, I remember my wife and I, we've had, by the way, what I would call a great marriage. Now, compared to other people, that is not a difficult thing to do, because today we find marriages are struggling and people are having a hard time in their relationships. But one of the reasons that my wife and I have been able to walk together for more than 50 years in marriage is because we've learned to ask forgiveness. Now, in any relationship, I don't care who you are, I don't care how great you are, how wonderful of a Christian you are going to fail. You're human. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail the person that is the closest to you. You'll fail your wife, your husband, your children, your parents. You will fail. But the key is learning to ask forgiveness. Now, how do you ask forgiveness? Well, I remember one day I came in and my wife, her head was in her hands and she was weeping. I said, "Hon, what's wrong?" And she began to pour her heart out to me. And there was such humility, there was such grace as she shared some things that I had done to hurt her, and now she had done some things to hurt me, and she was broken before the Lord. And you know what it did to me? It brought a spirit of brokenness to my heart. And I asked her to forgive me. And I humbled myself. Her humility wrought humility inside of me. And I humbled myself and I said, "Hon, I am so sorry. Would you forgive me?" And there was a great restoration in our relationship with one another. As soon as you do something that hurts the other, be quick, be fast. Immediately go back and say, "Hey, I am sorry. I messed up. Please forgive me." And there may be some things that happened a long time ago that the Lord's reminding you of right now. And what you need to do is you need to go back and you need to clear the air. You need to go back to the person you hurt, that you said something, you did something to, and you need to ask their forgiveness. Humble yourself. Become like a little child and ask forgiveness. If you don't, you're in a very dangerous place. And the person you hurt is in a very dangerous place. So go immediately and ask forgiveness. And you'll find that God's grace is sufficient for you.